Hello, Dawgpound South campers. This is the Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. I'm your host, Steve Gill, and free agency. We're getting to the point where things are starting to make news. First up, quarterback, Joe Flacco. There were reports that, which everybody knew, that the Browns talked to his agent while they were at the Combine in Indianapolis, and now we're hearing word that the Browns would like to get a deal done before Monday when the legal tampering period begins. They want to get him off the market. Now, they're not going to talk money with him. They just want to get an agreement with him. He is drawing interest as a bridge quarterback, and it would not surprise me if most of that interest is coming from Alex Van Pelt in New England. Here's the catch. Joe Flacco is happy in Cleveland. His family is happy in Cleveland. So if they can get a deal done before he hits free agency, that would be good. So what would probably happen is they would agree on a deal, and then come Monday, they talk specifics, money and that kind of stuff. I wouldn't expect to see him too much during the OTAs and that kind of stuff. He doesn't really need it, just as long as he shows up before training camp. Also, I would expect the contract to have stipulations as a backup and as a starter. Heavily incentivized. So that's number one. Number two, wide receivers. Oh, my goodness. Everybody's talking about wide receivers. Mary Kay has decided to this year, her trade subject is Mike Williams. Last year, she really put forth an effort saying that the Browns would be interested in trading for Elijah Moore, and she was right. I don't know about Mike Williams. I get the connection. Deshaun Watson and he played at Clemson together, but he's coming off ACL. And do we really want another guy coming off ACL? Mike Williams does not thrill me. Gabe Davis, I like Gabe Davis. Calvin Ridley, I like Calvin Ridley. If you're going to do a trade, I don't know why Brandon Ayuk is sticking in my brain so much. I just don't know why. It sounds like a big move that Andrew Berry would make. It's just sticking in my brain. I don't know why. So you've basically got the Browns going to have to, like I mentioned earlier, have to do some more restructuring, and probably the first one is going to be Nick Chubb. And then they have to decide if they want to pay Amari Cooper $20 million a year. Now, they have the benefit of two rookies in the wide receiver room. Two guys, on rookie contracts, Tillman and Bell. So, but it's a little top heavy when your number one receiver is getting 20. I don't expect to hear of any restructures until they're ready to sign someone. They're $6.8 million under the cap right now. They could hit Monday. They could hit the 13th when the league year really starts, and they'd be fine. They'd be under the cap. Also, you're seeing a lot of veterans get cut. Poyer just got cut. Who was it? Jerome Baker, I believe, the linebacker, Miami from Cleveland, also got cut. I don't see either one of those happening. Let's take a quick break, and we'll talk about the defense a little bit more. All right. Let's just stick with facts. Right now, the Browns have signed to the roster two defensive tackles, Dalvin Tomlinson and Sika Ika. That's not enough. Tomlinson is only good for about 70% of the snaps. Ika is a rookie, didn't show much. Rookie defensive linemen take longer to develop. Alex Wright, as a rookie, was not that great last year. He was good in limited playing time. I don't want to see Alex Wright as a starter for a full 17-game season. You just don't know what he has. So they've got to go out and get a defensive tackle. They've got to get a stud defensive tackle. Now, a lot of people will say, what about Chris Jones? Kansas City didn't franchise him. They franchised Snead, their stud defensive back, which is a tell right there. And for some reason, Kansas City knows they can not re-sign people. They got rid of Tyreek Hill and then won 2 Super Bowls. So it's not like Kansas City is really hurting for players. They've got the best quarterback in the league in Patrick Mahomes, and probably one of the best calling head coaches in the NFL. So they're not really worried about that. So would he be your number one target? I'm hearing Christian Wilkins, and so are you. Everybody's connecting him to the Browns for several reasons. He shares the same agent as Deshaun Watkins. They played at Clemson together. He's a stud. Everyone was shocked that Miami didn't franchise him. So I would assume he's going to be their number one target. I would think he was going to be their number one target. Running back. Everybody wants a veteran running back. This is where it gets interesting. Will Nick Chubb be ready for the season to begin? I don't think he will. So I'm all for them going out and signing DeAndre Swift. I love the kid. He could sub for Nick Chubb and then come in and be your number 2, and then you push Jerome Ford down to number 3. It's that simple. Now, the other area of need, and no one's talking about it, is linebacker. Linebackers can be a problem for the Browns because they don't pay their linebackers. I believe over the period of time that Andrew Berry's been GM for the Browns, they average about $7.5 million for the entire position group. So you've got JOK. Everybody wants JOK to sign an extension. What's that going to look like? It could be as much as 3 years at $30 million. So you've already blown your 7.5 average by paying one guy around $10 million. So if they do an extension for JOK, I fully expect them to re-sign Sione Takitaki. And I'd like him to sign a veteran, somebody at minimum. A perfect candidate, in my opinion, would be Zach Cunningham. The other group, they don't really need a corners. If they re-sign Mike Ford, they're good, or find somebody to replace Mike Ford, who's also a special teamer, that good. And the other linebackers, I definitely would bring back Matthew Adams as your number 6 linebacker. He led the team in special team tackles last year. So what's the other position group? Safety. Do you bring back Rodney McLeod? That's your big question. You're signing somebody like if you want to get your number 3 safety, which Jim Schwartz likes to play, they might go ahead and re-sign McLeod. I am truly hoping that they re-sign Zadarius Smith. I think they can get that done. They talk to his agents at the combine. I think if you combine Zadarius Smith with Christian Wilkins and Myles Garrett, you throw in Mo Hurst. I know Shelby Harris had better numbers, but you're going to have to sign either Shelby Harris or Mo Hurst. I prefer Mo Hurst. So right now, going into free agency, if deals were made during the illegal tampering period during the combine, we'll find out come the 11th when the legal tampering period starts. It wouldn't surprise me that Andrew Berry and Christian Wilkins' agent have already talked. He can start talking to him about Deshaun Watson and kind of do a little hypothetical with a defensive tackle and not get caught, not get in trouble. So it would not surprise me. So that's it for right now. Just be thinking that you're going to see a lot on the social media. A lot of it is going to be a lot of speculation. Choose your source carefully. But as for Mr. Wilkins, A lot of smoke there, and I'm starting to believe that smoke a little bit. He'd be a big ticket item, and he'd be a big splash that Andrew Berry would gladly take. He's done it in the past. He did it his first year when he signed Hooper, Conklin, and Case Keenum, 3 areas of need right off the bat. He did it last year with the signing of Okoronkwo and Juan Thornhill, and trading for Zadarius Smith and signing Damon Tomlinson, and then later trading for Elijah Moore. He likes to make big splash. Just remember, Andrew Berry has his price. And if it comes down to a close financial decision for the player, Andrew Berry will up his price. So that's today's Cleveland Browns Dawgpound South podcast, part of the Fanatical Elves Network, part of the Fans First Sports Network. Just a reminder, I am writing for the Fans First Sports Network now, so look for my articles on their webpage. And I'm your host, Steve Gill. And again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And thank you for following. We're Browns fans just like you. We're crazy. So everybody have a great day, and go Browns.